Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to another stream in this Thursday night, and we're back from the Crescent City Cup action. I hope you guys who are out there watching enjoyed the live coverage over the past weekend, and thank you to everyone that watched, and a lot of the new followers that we had, and a lot of the subscribers that we had. I think we had a bunch of hype trains as well along some of those days. Again, really have to thank you all for being there and for watching. So good evening to Muffled Tentacle. I guess good morning to Nomi Nemo and to MKW Joseph. Hi to Diversions in the YouTube chat as well, saying good tunes. Austin is the coolest Scrabbler. Maybe. I don't know. I can let you guys decide, of course. But yeah, this is going to be a analysis stream. So essentially I'm going to go through a bunch of the games that I played at the Crescent City Cup. So I have my scorecard here. I have my scorecard. I've actually just I've like kind of written down like the wait, oh, I can't even see where I'm going. These like things down here that I'm going to go through. And I have all my score sheets here as well, which I have analyzed in some varying depths. But yeah, I'm going to go through 6 of these games out of the 20. And again, feel free to chime in with whatever you want at the time. Top 3 callers, I think. Top 4 in Wigpo. Maybe, I don't know. Not top 1? Come on. That's not right. Anyway. So yeah, we're going to go through these games. I'm going to try and go through them in chronological order as well. So we're going to skip through some games that weren't quite as, say, interesting. And we'll just go through the pick of the games essentially. All right, so if you want the TLDR of the tournament, and then you can stop watching right now. Or if you don't want to hear the spoilers of what happened at the event, then close your ears. But yeah, I ended up finishing in 6th place, 1 position out of the money. I went into the final game in 3rd place, and quite simply, if I managed to win that last game, I would actually be in 2nd place. I would have finished 2nd, and I would have won $1,250. So it's actually quite a lot. And instead, I got bagged in the final game, lost by like 170 points, and went home with nothing. So apart from a tie bag, of course, but yeah, it was a $1,200 game in the end for me. Losing at the Caro in the 20th game, so I ended up finishing 6th. And again, this was an absolute stacked field of Collins players. Well, that's a lot of ice cream on the line for that final game. Says, where were you guys? That is true. I hate to think how much ice cream I have missed out for the $1,200 worth. I literally would have a freezer full of ice cream, of mint chocolate ice cream, but instead I have to make do with nothing. So yes, that's kind of what happened in the event. This also goes with the 6th place that I finished in Albany in New Year's event, which is also 1 place out of the prizes. So I actually didn't win any money over these 2 tournaments. I was 1 place out in both. But as I said, it was a stacked field of 24 players in my division, and there were, in the bottom half of our division, there were many 2,000 rated players. There's people that have finished very highly in recent World Championships, seated in the bottom half of our division. Just bear that in mind. And people who have won the Crescent City Cup as well, also, again, in the bottom half of the division. So there are no real easy games in this tournament whatsoever. So yeah, it was going to be a, you know, I guess any of these people could win this tournament. So it's you know, it's one of those things. But yeah, I'm just happy that I at least did well. Finished in 6th again. 6 out of 24th is we're still pretty good. Top quarter, you could say. We're still respectable, especially in this field. And again, many other top class players did finish below me, so again, I've got to take solace with that. Take the positives. But it was Josh Sokol or Axotypo on the online streaming places who ended up winning the tournament 3 games ahead of everyone else. A dominant victory for him against the stacked field, as I said. So well done to him for winning $3,000. And yeah, Etakaro finished in 2nd, and then Dave Wiegand, who's won this tournament maybe like 5 times, finished in 3rd. So again, this is showing the depth and the strength of the Collins division this year. MKW saying your wasteland is thanking you so much right now. Yes, that is true. I could literally just freeze everything and pour it all into a bathtub and just roll around in it if I wanted to. Again, that's not something that you should be even thinking about. Maybe we should just get on with the analysis, maybe. Let's move on. Anyway, let's talk about the actual Scrabble here. Okay, so this will be the first game that we'll go through, but before that, this was actually round number 6. So let's go through, kind of run down what has happened. We'll kind of keep things in chronological order, as I said. So game 1, I played against Sandy Nang. I think I was actually lucky to win this game. I was out bingo 3-1. I think Sandy was a little bit out of practice as well. She didn't hit the clock a few times, I noticed. But in the first 5 moves, she played Otarine with a blank and Stained with a blank as a 4-timer. So it wasn't looking good for me as I struggled with some kind of weird tiles. And then I draw like 2 W's and a U or something in one of these bracks. But I managed to end up catching up. She kind of slowed down a little bit mid-game, so we were kind of even. And then she played Dunites for 84, and I played Dottier underneath it for 87. But luckily, I had some high-scoring tiles at the end to end up winning the game by about 60 points. So that was the first game of the tournament. The second game, I played against Scott Jackson, who actually, I think at World Cup last year, he actually beat me after getting 5 bingos against me. So yeah, we're looking for a revenge game here, but unfortunately I didn't manage to get my revenge here. I did lose by 38. I didn't do all that much wrong in this game after analysis. Most of the game was pretty much as accurate as it could possibly be. Again, there's a few nuances at the end of the game when you're kind of down by 50 with a block board. You know, the numbers kind of get a bit wonky, but in the end of the day, yeah, didn't have too much there. And then in game 3, I played against Josh Sokol, the eventual winner of the tournament, and this was on the only game that I was on the stream, that I played on stream. So this is game 3. Again, you can watch it back on this channel sometime later on after I'm finished talking on the stream. But yeah, so I did start with 2 bingos. I started with Heavier and I started with Cancered. So it was looking pretty good early on. But then he plays Bachelor, and then plays a nice Sapaju and Diastem, which had like 6 overlaps. So he ended up winning that one by about 80 points. Bear in mind, after 3 games, I had 0 blanks, exactly 0 blanks. And we'll kind of talk about that later on as well. Game 4, I played against Puneet Sharma. I was lucky because, well, I had a bingo early on, and then he played a phony, which kind of slowed him down a lot. And I got my bingo of Sociate down for 102. Put up a blank count prediction. Oh, that's a good idea. I was thinking about what kind of what kind of prediction I can put out today. And yeah, maybe that's actually an idea, because I haven't actually got an idea for prediction today. I wasn't even planning on it, so maybe we will do that. So let's see. Okay, what was the last time? If everybody knows the actually nobody knows the answer yet to this. I'm going to So this is actually in 20 games. So let me just put that in there so you guys have an idea, I guess, as to how many blanks I actually had. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see. What would a good number be here? Okay, so we played 20 games, so 40 blanks in total that you could possibly get. Let's see. Wait a minute. But you completely threw me off now because I will make what I was about to say. But yeah, this is a good, um, a good thing to do, I think. Okay, let me see. So, yeah, I was like, I need to put like decimals here, but actually I don't need to put decimals. I definitely do not need to put decimals for this. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna put a prediction out now. Let's, I don't know, give you 20 minutes. I don't know. Let's see if that's about right. Alright, okay. Because Muffled Tentacles said that we should put out a prediction, let's put out a prediction. How many blanks did you think I had in 20 games? Good evening to Engine Cosmographer as well. When was the last time I counted blanks? I count all these things after every tournament just to see if there's anything that, you know, anything notable to see here. But you can see there's four different options to choose from. Again, use your alien quiz wisely, get predicting what you think it was, and I will reveal this at the end. There's 2 blanks, it's hard not to accidentally count. Okay. So, game 4, I played against Puneet Sharma. Yes, he actually played a phony, and then I played Soci 102, and then I won by a lot. So, not particularly interesting, I think, to go through. And then we have game 5 against Jeff Theveno. I was actually trailing in this game for pretty much the entire time. He played the word pig feed to start with a blank F. So pig feed, and you can make pig weed as well. Only two bingos there. And yeah, I was behind by that bingo most of the way until I got Anodizer for 74, and then he bingoed near the end with Rialtos. And then I was kind of catching up with a blank, and then I managed to play the only winning play at the end of the game against him, which was unsexing through an X at the bottom of the board and a blank that had 3 overlaps. So I managed to win that game and steal it from him, and a win of 76 points put me at 3-2 and a spread of exactly plus 200. And that's the first 5 games of day 1, and we're going to start analyzing things from now. So this is game number 6 against Kevin Fraley. So he has won the WoW division, or NWR division, or whatever it was at that time. He has won this event. He ended up winning a class prize. Again, don't forget that he is a 2000 rated player, and I think in Vegas and at the Worlds, he finished in the top 15 or top 20 or something. So again, this is kind of crazy that he ended up winning a class prize out of this. But yeah, we're going to pick it up from here. So this is round number 6, and this is the first rack that was actually drawn here. This is my first rack. And again, we're kind of using... Normally I would use Macondo, but this is Quackle, just for illustrative purposes. It's a bit easier to kind of see for you guys out there watching. My opponent had the... I think I missed a few streams. Did you analyze New Year's tournament? I have not done the New Year's tournament yet. I will do that next week, yes. there's more stuff to talk about next week. After next week, I will be away for a couple of weeks as well. So we got this stream, we got another analysis stream of Albany, and probably some kind of Infinity Word stream in between, somewhere in there, and then I'll be off for like 3 weeks. So yeah, we're just gonna try and get this done now whilst we can. So yeah, first move, pretty straightforward here, is just jig to start with. And then he plays Fuji, which was very lucky for me. Let's see, okay. And then it was very lucky for me because I ended up drawing into this. I was like, what bingos do I even have? And then I was like, oh, the G has a bingo. Great. So I played bingo here through the G, and then I actually forgot that there were 2 bingos here. So I ended up playing, oh wait, this is actually not the right dictionary. I actually don't have the updated ccc2024 dictionary here, but it shouldn't really matter too much here. But anyway, the other word here is organity. I have been simming, yes, I have been simming NWO games because I teach Jonathan Kai, who's one of my students, one of the fastest improving players in North America, so I have to do some of that. But yes, I've actually played gyration here. I forgot that there was a second bingo, so I played something. At least that's still good. So it's a 5-point error here actually with this. Luckily he couldn't really capitalize on this. He just plays Kunai. Jonathan's Unite, yes, thanks, Luckbox Lind. There we go. And then I have, what do I have? I'm trying to alphabetize my racks too. So this is what I have. Okay, oh, I should actually be saving the file here so you can see the scores. So yeah, this is what I had. Relatively close choices here. It took me a bit longer than I probably would have liked to have found foe. Again, I'm looking for words that just get rid of the U and the X, and I think foe was the best one here. So ended up doing that, which again looks like one of the top plays. And then Kevin plays Teeters here. And I do draw relatively well with my with my leave of DHIO. I draw an A, an E, and an S. Again, relatively speaking, is pretty good. I'm now relatively close to a bingo here. I was just deciding between either I play Oho or Oo. Kind of thought about it for like 20 seconds and then was like, is there really that much of a difference? I don't think there is. So I just played Oo, just kind of keep things harder to kind of play like over here. If I play Oho, like you can open up things above the O. So I decided just to play Oo and kind of play a bit more contained in that sense. This also kind of keeps the T a bit more open potentially because it's harder to play something through the I rather than if he doesn't have any good tiles, he might play something above the OI and then obstruct the T. So I just kind of like, again, these are such marginal thoughts or considerations. Again, it probably doesn't really matter because there are also 2 other T's on the board that he just played. So I'm just like kind of splitting hairs at this stage. But I decided to play Oo in this move. And then he plays Kima, the new word, which I guess Quackle is not going to understand as a word, so it is good. So Kima is a new word in ccc2024 with a Q, a very weird looking word. Very hard to see, yes. With what letters he actually kept, I think that Kima was relatively easy to see because he actually ended up keeping good tiles, I think he said. But yes, Kima is not the most obvious thing, putting like the Q and multiple E's after it. So yes, I played my OH off here, so I kept this, and I ended up drawing OR, and I was like, oh, sweet. Not bad. And again, I have bingos through the T, which was what I was thinking about, and then when I was like, wait a minute, I actually have bingos through the T, and this one is the best spot. So I actually have a 9 timer here. So relatively, well, I say relative. It is a high probable 8. Again, the only bingo through the T is an asteroid, hitting both triple word squares. 140 points. Very fortunately, he couldn't use the T, and yeah, puts me way into the lead, up to 288 after 5 moves. And for some reason, I don't know why, he was thinking for about 3 or 4 minutes, and he decided to play Resold as a bingo. I don't know if there were any other bingos here. There actually were not. Again, I guess he might be thinking of bingos through the E or the T or something. Something's a bit more safer. But this is the only playable bingo, which was kind of unfortunate because I ended up drawing into this. I have Lawine, Lawine, Lauwine, which would have fit in that exact spot, and it doesn't go anywhere else. So I was kind of like, every single second that, well, every minute that went by, I was like, yeah, this is gonna stay open because he is either struggling with something and he's not gonna go next to this A. Like, you just wouldn't probably go there. He might try and score more points, you know, but he ended up playing there and blocking my bingo. But yeah, just had to pivot with Lawine, and you can spell it without the U as well. So I played Lawine, parallel to Risold. Again, scores really well. Don't have to worry too much about the U because that was the final U, and this also blocks a lot of the floaters of Risold. 44 points, kind of adds my lead back up to almost 100 again, so that was the best play according to Macondo. And then Kevin plays a mock down here, which scored again 42 points, keeping pace with me here. And then with my U, I ended up drawing this, which was kind of a weird draw. Again, very happy to see the Z and the E on my rack, but then to go with my U, got the V and the Y and the O. And yeah, I did not pick the right play here. So this is an interesting spot. A learning point here, because I ended up playing something that I thought was actually pretty good. It took me a little while to find my actual move. But it's actually incorrect by like 9 points, according to Macondo. I admit it, I actually don't remember what the best play was, which I probably should know. But when we generate choices, Towsy, which is actually the word that I played, is statically the best play because of the 34-point score. You're keeping the ETV, you're actually dumping kind of, say, 4 out of your 5 kind of non-bingo-y tiles. So that's kind of a good thing, generally. But the problem here is that it doesn't really like me playing Towsy here, because I'm 52 points in front, and there's really only, say, for example, really one very dangerous spot on this board, and that's through the E of Teeters. That is a really dangerous spot. And it's something that the analyzer, or Macondo, really wants me to block. I could also play Avise. I think that actually would have been one of the higher rated, better scores as well. Avise is also really good because it scores more and keeps the out leave as well. But things like Yeve, you can see here, are actually best, which kind of goes completely against. You know, kind of goes outside the box in terms of what you should play here, keeping OUZ on your rack, and it doesn't really go that well on this board. But blocking this E, this potential 4 timer lane, is really the easiest way for Kevin to catch up. I know it probably doesn't really matter too much, but it kind of restricts the T a little bit more by one space. So the T has to be either second or third position. And you also keep the Z just because you can score well with it some other time. So yeah, it's an interesting move, and you can see that it's kind of relatively, yeah, quite far ahead of the rest of it. Yes, the Z is so good to keep because he makes Axel X a lot. That's true. The Z, there's just not really good space for it at this moment in time. So you might actually be better off to keep hold of it and wait for a better opportunity to deal with it then. I could potentially get something above here with my Z, like Zoya or something, but yeah, I don't necessarily need to do anything with the Z currently. Again, anything above here would be good, and might even expose a Val under here to put my Z on top of, so then I can cash it in. So yeah, it really favors defense on this move. So that completely threw me in terms of when I actually analyzed this. I was like, wow, wasn't even close. And Towsy, which was the equity play, yeah, way off. I say way off. It's 4% worse, which is pretty significant. Again, if you kind of realize that 4% is actually an 8% swing, that's quite a lot. So it is a misstep on my part. And again, it's I feel like Eve is kind of more of a kind of robotic play. I think in this case, in this stage, there's still 2 blanks unseen. You probably would try and play more tiles like Avias or Towsy and try and go for another bingo. But in this case, the engines don't like that. So that is again a cool spot to kind of pay attention to. So yeah, I played Towsy, and of course, we have to also point out that Kevin did play bingo, and he did play it through the E. So yeah, I guess the bots know what they're talking about. And he played Diplogen after about, again, another 3 or 4 minutes. He plays Diplogen with 2 blanks. Again, not going to mention about how many blanks I had or didn't have, but did not have any blanks in this game. So now, after a 9 timer, he's now tied. It's now 366 each after 7 turns apiece. Which, again, speaking of which, you can get involved with the prediction that's still ongoing. Again, how many blanks do you think I had in 20 games at the Crescent City Cup this year? So pick your prediction result that you think that it was. So yes, Diplogen, yes, a Collins only word there. So yeah, I did draw some kind of very awkward tiles after this. I did draw this out of the bag. Not ideal, but not the worst in terms of what things are available here. So just bear in mind, I will say this now for those that are, we have about 2.5 minutes left of the prediction. This is game 6, and I will tell you at this moment in time, after 6 games, I've only had 2 blanks. Game 1, 2, and 3, and 6, I've had no blanks. Game 4 and 5, I had 1 blank. So we're gonna get there, but that's where we're at right now. So here I actually had debted to go through the E of Titas, which would have been the spot that I would have blocked the next turn, but instead I had to pivot. Again, Deb here is a pretty good option. Number 1, according to the towards Macondo, so just get rid of the duplicate tiles. And then Kevin plays Fein, F-A-I-N, through the A of Gyration. What am I doing? There we go. Okay. So now up by 11, and my letters. Wait, let me just point out what I kept here. So I kept this. Let me advertise that properly. DETV, and I ended up drawing GLN. So this is this is not ideal. Kind of like now I'm like, well, what do I do with this? What do we do with my vow? Do we preserve the vow? Do we can we score any points? So yeah, it's a difficult situation to be in, especially when the scores are close. And the letters left as well, you can see in the middle of the screen. It's not too bad. There's kind of almost one of everything, so it's not too bad. So yeah, I took some time to try and think of words that play through the Y, and was like, I could play Guiled here, keeping VNT, and that's okay. But then I realized, oh, I have Gived, which looks way better. And then once I found that, I instantly played it, which was by far the best play according to the engine. So good thing I found that. And this is where things got tricky, because here Kevin plays ALB, A-L-B. A-L-B. So this is a weird spot now, because I have N, L, and T. And to a certain degree, I do draw relatively favorably. I did draw 2 vowels. So I drew the A, O, P, and T, which is not too bad, but not great either. Not ideal, but really, again, would have liked to draw in the E or the S, but with a move like ALB, it becomes very difficult, because even the letters of the V and the W now go very well above here. There's still the A, the B, sorry, the A, the E, and the S that goes here too. And then there's a floating D up top also. So this becomes a little bit of a problem now. I'm 18 points in front with 5 tiles in the bag. What exactly do I do? Because before this move, I was actually going to play Planter here. Because I just needed to get rid of just some tiles and score well. This would have scored 27. Maybe if he played one fewer tile, maybe I would consider this play as well. But this doesn't address anything to do with Alb or Alba. So this was a real problem spot now. So luckily I had kind of saved a lot of time for the end. I don't know if there are any bingos that end with an I either. Probably not something I should be worried about. But I cannot seem to block the D and Albs all at the same time. Just going to have to pick your poison at this stage. And just hope that, you know, something goes in my favor. But again, I don't think that he would play Alb if he didn't have maybe at least 2 of those letters. That was kind of what I was thinking. I was like, he must have, out of the AES, he must have 2 of those. Good evening to Chess Bunzo as well. Good to see you. And again, well done on your performance at the Crescent City Cup also. So yeah, this was a bit of a problem, because I was thinking of maybe why don't I just play Plant here? But then I was like, wait a minute, Planter is a word. I was about to play that. So Planter can still go here, and this will give away even more points. So I can't do anything with that. I thought about Optant as well, and that was mentioned in the chat by Muff with Tentacle. And this kind of gives another floating tile, an O here, which is actually kind of favorable, I think. There are no O's unseen, so an O would actually be a good floating tile as well. And not only that, don't forget that there is an S hook as well. And maybe some high scoring words that play through the O, setting up an S hook or something that I don't have might be a problem. So I have all those to think about. And Muffin Tentacle also mentioned the word plat. So don't forget there are 5 tiles in the bag. I would end up playing 5 tiles here. I could play plat with 1 T, leave one in the bag, but then obviously there's an S hook for splat, so I can't do that either. So now it's like, which one do I do? I kind of vaguely remember that plat doesn't take an ass. Again, I'm not really too worried about the S hook here anyway, because I'm probably scoring enough here, and I really think that one of the most important things here is to block this hook, but also not give away any, also to keep one vowel. There's only an A, E, and an I unseen as vowels, and I think that he probably has at least 2 of those. I'm not expecting to draw any more vowels from the bag here. I cannot play something like Octant, and then I can't expect to play something like Octant, leave an L, and with 5 tiles in the bag, just draw have 6 constants to play with at the end, and again with no real good vowels open. What am I supposed to do with that? So I decided that I think that what I would have to do here is just to play plat. So let's see what the bot thinks here. So plat is an option here as well, and if you simulate this, look at that, boom. So really, what you only lose to realistically is a bingo through the D at the top. You're actually far enough in front. So you're now 40 points in front. It's going to be very hard to be outrun. Unless you just draw literally all the garbage tiles. Again, assuming that your opponent doesn't bingo. You should just draw all the garbage tiles, like the V, W, C, H, all of an R or something at the same time. And then you just get stuck. Even then, like again, this axe hook, you can still put the V and the W here. You can still get another 20, 25 points there, because I'm keeping the O. So then your opponent would really need like what, 70 points at the end game to try and win without a bingo. Very hard to do with 7 tiles here as well. So I felt like this probably gave me the best chance, and that's actually something that you can see here. Again, this is Quackle, but it kind of is similar here. It is quite far in front of everything else. Plat is an 84% chance of winning, and all these other moves are a long way behind. So I did do this. It was the best play, according to Macondo also. Unfortunately, Kevin couldn't bingo, so he plays direct up here. So I had NO on my rack. I draw into, and actually this is not a surprise, I did draw into 5 constants. I draw into HNSVW. So my kind of read on the fact he played Alb, he probably has at least 2 of those 3 hooks. That was right. He did have the A or the E. Again, was right that he also had at least 2 of the 3 remaining vowels. He actually had all 3. So again, the fact that I kept the O was really important, because if I didn't have the O, I could get outrun here, because you can see if I just save the scores now, after plat, I'm only 10 points in front. If I didn't have an O, there would not really be any chances or any great ways of scoring. I could play something like Hewn here, but again, I'm keeping the V as well, my rack. So again, it kind of gets a little bit kind of dicey. He could potentially kind of engineer a way to kind of get more points somehow. So yes, it becomes very difficult, but luckily I managed to end up winning this game. So I played the highest scoring play or best move of Who above underneath direct, and then he goes out with his AR and plays Rav underneath Towsy for 20 points. So that was game number 6. I ended up winning this game by 15, 484 to 469. Again, really important move of plat at the end of the game, because at the end, his move of direct, he actually had erratic here. So that erratic would have played through plat. So if we kind of assumed that for a second that I actually had a different set of, or he actually, what his tiles were. Yeah, it'd be this, and then this is what he would be looking at when it was actually my turn. So he would have actually had erratic here, or Cirate, or even Catbriar. The B would also have given him a bingo, which is not something I would have necessarily have thought, but again, it clearly shows that this spot was the space to block, and I managed to do it. So again, fortunately, I managed to draw, at least dodge a bullet, but again, making a good decision, so all good. So that was the first game we're going to look through. Again, thank you to everyone that got involved with the prediction tonight. The prediction is now closed, so we'll see later on about what the result is. But that puts me into 4-2 now. After game 6. Game 7, played against Charles Ranke. Did not do well. I lost by about 90 points. Had some really kind of strange racks to start with, and then he bingos with Jettison. And then I played Ingina. And then, what happened after that? Then he got the really nice bingo of Topspin. Natural bingo for 88, which is really the nail in the coffin here. I couldn't really come back from that. Did try to open up the board, tried to engineer a way to open up the board, which was really blocked, and couldn't really do it. I didn't draw enough E's, and then I had to fish for a 9-letter word, which didn't hit, so I tried to fish for Auto Guide. Needed one specific tile in the bag anyway, but it got blocked, so it didn't really matter that much. So yeah, I ended up losing by 89. No, I didn't. I definitely did not. Okay. Okay, so let's go through game number 8. This is my first of 2 games against Dave Wiegand. I always like analyzing these games against him. He's one of the best players in North America. Yeah, so Auto Guide would have been through the I and the D. I actually needed the E. How many blanks did I get for with the AC game? That's a good question. I had one. I had to fish for the E, and keep literal garbage on my rack to try and get something there. But even then, I think we're not doing too good. Yes, we're on three blanks after 7 games, so 3 out of 14. It's a good ratio there, good percentage. But yes, even then, I'm still actually at 4-3 and a positive spread, so I'm still like, it's not too bad. Okay, so let's change this up real quick. Okay, let's change it to. Sorry, I'm just adjusting a few things here. All right, so let's do that. Okay, this resets things, right? Does that work? Oh, actually, I don't go first. I actually go first here. Try that again. Okay, cool. All right, first move. This is my first rack here. Not ideal, as you can see, but not many great options apart from maybe something like Foyd or Fido. There's also Iodic as well. Fosi or Fico. They're all kind of the same. I was like, yeah. I'll be the blank counter. Yes, thank you, MPW Joseph. Thank you. Again, as I said, we'll go through 6 games on the stream tonight, so this is the second one. Just so you kind of have an idea as to how long we'll be doing this for. So yes, play Fido. And then he plays Unity underneath. So with my ACI leave, is it ACI? Sorry, I'm sorry. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Wait. With Fido, I did not have the C. I had an E, which actually I realize now that actually makes things a bit easier to understand, a bit easier to decide now. Yeah, I didn't have Iodic. I literally just had lots of vowels. So, I can't read my own handwriting here. Maybe make a note that I actually... There we go. Okay. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. So Fido, and then he plays Unity. Sorry about that. Yeah, because I don't have a C in my next rack. So with my AEI leave, I end up drawing AABE. I end up drawing this, which is, you know, the kind of rack that you would love to have against Dave Wiegand, who just scores 1 billion points every move. And I cannot, and I can score precisely not a million points with this move. So yeah, I decided to exchange. I decided to just keep an E. So that's what I did. So that's what I did there. Can't do too much. And then he played Brow, so he kind of didn't score too many points. So I was kind of okay about that. So again, I kept an E. I draw into AAFILO. So again, I draw even more. I still draw a bunch of vowels. Okay. Okay, I see. Let's see how it is. That's fine. Almost aerofoil, but not quite. But close is not good enough, right? Every time I play Dave, I feel like I'm in the wrong division. Maybe he's in the wrong division. He should play in something higher up here. Like, we're not worthy here, you know. What am I doing here? So yeah, I was kind of contemplating Folier. And I was like, Folia? What are the hooks for Folia? And I was like, I don't think that Folier is right. So I decided just to play Folia. I think Folia only just takes an R hook, so yeah, I decided just play Folia, keep the E. Folia with Aero fail, yeah. I'm not sure that would work, but you know, for the lols. Okay, so after Brow and Unity, he plays QI, Chi, up top. So again, he hasn't scored too much so far, but again, neither have I. My letters get slightly better here. I have this rack. And then I was like, yeah, my letters are better. But then when I started looking at what my options are, I actually didn't really see anything great. I was like, I'm one letter off. I did see at the time, I was like, I need a T for Tozetta. And the T here of Unity doesn't quite fit. And actually, Tozetta is the only 8-letter word from this rack plus blank. So I did find that. But then I was like, after a few minutes, I was like, what am I supposed to even do here? Like, I just cannot do much. Until I was like, you know what? I gotta take the advice. I'll take my own advice when I tell the kids about how to play. Get rid of all the tiles that you don't want. You should look to get rid of at least half the tiles that you don't want, right? Especially if you're trying to go for bingo, then put those to the side also. So then I was like, okay, let's just play Zitty. Zitty's fine. Does the job, keeps good tiles. The Z isn't particularly like cashed in, so to speak. Here, I was kind of looking for 4 times with the Z. There's nothing there. I was like, well, maybe this is it, and it does turn out that this is actually the best play. There's actually nothing spectacular here whatsoever. But again, Dave being Dave, he bingos. He plays Emirati down here, 75 points. And I do draw very well here. So with my AERT, I draw GN blank. I've seen my 4th blank of the tournament. Finally. Yes. And I find my highest scoring bingo here. 4 blanks, yes. I did briefly consider Trank as well, which is 42 points, keeping the blank. But with the G in hand as well, and the letters on the board are not great for S hooks. Again, I don't have an S, but there's not. The board isn't wide open enough that I'm like almost guaranteed to bingo. So I decided just to go with the highest scoring bingo of Tangler, making Bale, me, and highest scoring bingo. And it is the #1 choice according to my condo also. Okay, so I was like, okay, let's put us back in the game. He played Hebe, And then I draw into a rack that, again, kind of weird because there's a number of different options available here that you could go down. So mainly to again looking to get rid of those you don't want. I couldn't see anything great in a lot of spots, but some moves were just good but not great. I can play things like Holy or Homie down here. I even thought about playing Holy, setting up the M for Nim as well, but like this could just get crushed pretty heavily. You could also play the same things down here as well, kind of safe because there's no hooks for either one of those. You could also just play something like Hoi or Hey there. So like they're all just kind of like decent moves. I will say I did see the extension to Ziti. I could play Monozite, which actually kind of sets up the Y and the H either side. But then I was like, I'm keeping the HLY, and I'm like, is that really a good thing to do? And I concluded that it wasn't the best thing to do. And according to Macondo, this actually was the best play. But I decided to go with Holy down here. Play a little bit of defense here. I got the N for Heben. Trying to block some things here. I don't really want too many things open against Dave. So Holy kind of shuts things down a little bit. Again, I don't know what he's got with Heb, but he's always going to be getting closer and closer to a bingo. So Holy was only like a one point mistake. Yeah, it's not that much in the grand scheme of things. So it's fine. And then he plays picks here. So he's pretty far in front. Typo asking, did you look at my game? I did not look at your game on stream, if that counts. I did just kind of briefly talk about it. Again, you guys out there can watch the stream back and watch the action. It was on day 1. It was game 3 of the event, and it was on the stream. But yeah, I didn't look at it on here. Okay, so I have this rack here. Even it looks like it's a constant thing, not just to get us to... not really. I mean, you knew what to do with them, so that's all you can say. That's all you can say. It's all good. So yeah, I played the best move here, just getting rid of my JA and playing Jai, which Macondo agrees is the #1 play. And then this is where I kind of got a little bit like, uh-oh, something's about to happen, because Dave plays the word Geos here in this bottom corner. And I'm like, oh no, he has the other S. And there's 3, number of S's still unseen. And I'm like, oh no. What's about to happen? Because I don't have the greatest of tiles. After Jai, I have this rack, and I can't really block this spot either. And I'm like, I might just have to try and get myself ready to try and bingo back somehow. But the fact is, I don't have an S for Biogs. Means that there's not really any space to play a bingo after that. Unless you play Heben. But again, this is hard to hit. So yeah, I played Alma and Ya. Trying to open up some bingo lanes at the top because I need to open some lanes. So that's what I did there. And again, no surprise, Dave bingos in the spot that he just opened up. So he played out ads and Biogs for 83 points. So yeah, not great. Can't really do too much there. And then I actually don't really have much else with this next rack. So yeah, my potential bingo floaters don't fit, so can't really do too much. I decided to just play Vela here. Actually, Macondo said it was a 5-point error on Vena, on VENA. I think mainly because there are 3 ends left. I think it doesn't want me to duplicate my ends. So again, that might have just been a mistake, just not being aware of what's in the pool. And the L does go well with, well, does go well with a P down here as well, so it's not that bad. And there might be a bunch of words that actually played with the L again through the V, so it's not a bad tile to keep. So yeah, just didn't want to get duplicated. But yeah, Vela was what I ended up playing. Dave plays up here through the... Oh, can't even type. Plays through the V here, 27 points. He's now 100 ahead. So I update the score on the screen for you. So yeah, don't have too much going on here, and it does turn out with my my player Vela, I keep ANR, and I draw CGNV. So yeah, it was kind of GG at that point, and yeah, I guess to some degree the analyzer was the engine was right that I shouldn't be I should play Vanna, because I did draw another N after all. But I was just wanting to keep the N for Heben, so I don't know. But still, not really many available options here. I do play the best move available, which was Nova and Chin. Just getting rid of 2 kind of awkward tiles, maybe draw into some other vowels, you never know, just hope. Or maybe draw into something down from the P, like prancing or something, I don't know. We're just kind of clutching at straws a little bit here at this stage. So Nova comes down, and then Dave wisely blocks the lane here, playing crops, Hebes, and then I have this rack now. I drew the K, which is not particularly the greatest tile in the world now, but at least I'm like, well, if I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna at least score some points to get to 300. But then I was kind of looking at the pool and was like, what can I really do? I can bingo through the E, I can bingo through the P here, or I can just like give up, roll over and give up here and just play through the R. But then I was like, wait a minute, let me think of what bingos I could play through the E or the P. So I have neck gear here, which doesn't quite fit. And then I was looking at the P here and was like, I probably need a vowel to bingo down from here. So I was like, let's just remove either the G or this K and see what I can muster up. And then I realized something. I was like, well, maybe the chances of me drawing a vowel isn't that high. Maybe I could draw into a very high scoring bingo down from the P if I draw a D or an S. There's no necessary guarantee that he's holding the other S or a D on this rack. So I'm going to fish off the G. Let me fish off the G and play Jag. Because my bingo down here from the P would score over 100 points. This actually is a kind of, say, sneaky-ish way of... a sneaky way of kind of coming back into this game without really even doing too much if I manage to hit my fish. So I played Jag here for 11. I'm like, I'm just going to play this and just see what happens. And then Dave just plays Warn. He actually does block the E, so I do that. And then with my draw, I actually hit my fish. I hit it, I drew the D, and I have my bingo. And unfortunately, I'm a little bit too far behind, but I still managed to play my bingo. I was happy with this. And I played Pranked for 110. My fish worked. Yes. I saved some spread, at least. In garbage time. So I played Prank for 110. Again, I'm not looking to win the game at this stage. I'm just trying to reduce the spread. So now I move up to 386. And then we kind of play out the rest of the game here. So he plays Sook. Just a... I know. I actually don't even know what Prank even means, actually. Is it... I think it's like this, isn't it? The fold or pleat. That's it. You spell it without the E as well. So there's different ways of spelling it. It's an obsolete spelling. Again, another nice obsolete spelling to have in the dictionary there. And yeah, that was basically it. So he played Sook and I have OI. So I just played Koi, my highest scoring play. Highest scoring play, and that was it. 32 point loss in the end. Which again could have been a lot worse. Could have also been a lot better as well, but yeah, didn't quite work out in this case. And that was the final game of day one. Ended up 4-4, with precisely four blanks. I did have one blank in this game too, so I can't remember if we added that to the total. Yeah, I think it's just 4 blanks. I'd had no blanks in games 1, 2, 3, and 6, and 1 blank in the other 4. So 4 blanks out of 16. So that was the end of day 1. Let's move on to the next one. This one shouldn't take too long to analyze. This is game number 9 against Evans Clinchy. So it was just a cool game because it was just very high scoring. So yeah, that's nice one. Oh, hi to Akanch Aurora in the chat. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. We're actually 2 games away from when we played in the tournament. So Akanch was a new player, playing his, I think his first US tournament at the Crescent City Cup. So he's here in the chat right now. So welcome along. So yeah, let's go through game number 9. We're actually not gonna. I will say now, Akanch, we're not gonna analyze your game on the stream. So we're not gonna do that, but we're gonna analyze other games. We're gonna analyze 6 different games. We've gone through 2 of them so far, and this will be game number 3 that we analyze on the stream, which is game number 9 of the tournament. So this is against Evans Clinchy. Again, there's not going to be much to kind of talk about to a certain degree here, just because again, this was kind of a bit of a shootout. But just cool to kind of show you what happened here. So this is my first rack. Nothing particularly inspiring. Just play AYE. So I played it like this. And then Evans exchanges. He exchanges 5, so that's that. And then to go with my AENO. Again, I have some kind of weird draws here. I picked out OVV from the bag. I will tell you now, this is not the only time where I played 3 tiles. In this tournament, I played 3 tiles and drew 2 Vs. We'll kind of talk about that later on, but I drew 2 Vs here in 2-tile draw. So yeah. I did play my best play here of Uvuve. So again, this is kind of probably more well known that you can spell it with 2 U's instead of 2 V's, but you can spell it like this as well. This kind of nicely clears the rack of the V's and the O, keeping ON. So 16 points is better than nothing, than exchanging. So that was the play here for me. Again, Macondo agrees. Evans now plays his first bingo. He plays Unweaned for 80 points. I was lucky here with my NO draw, NO leave, sorry. I ended up drawing EFFIL, which actually gave me a bingo. Yeah, yeah, so Ikanch, yeah, Chesponsor is one of the prize winners at the Crescent City Cup. So yeah, you would have seen him there. So yeah, alongside offline underneath I had offline up here, which now gives me another 19 points. So that was instantly played. And then Evans plays another bingo. He plays Tattooed, Natural Tattooed through the O, 86 points as a 4-timer. Whilst I play, I draw. I don't even know how I can even. I don't even think this is a joke. I draw. Wait, what did I draw? I draw. I drew this on the bag. I think I drew this. I drew 3 G's and 2 U's. So yeah, I was like, this is gonna be one of those games again where I'm like, my letters are just gonna be sucky, and I'm just gonna roll over here. I'm just not gonna have any. I'm just gonna be powerless to do anything. But luckily, the fact is that he played Tattooed. He didn't play along the triple here. This gives a very straightforward move of just Gum in the top right corner for 35 points. So at least it keeps the scoreboard ticking along at least, which was nice. Until, you guessed it, Evans bingos for a 3rd time in a row with the blank. So I haven't seen a 5th blank yet. He plays Stridor up here for 78 points. So yeah. So with the GGIU leave, I would say I've got I did draw relatively well here, even though it may not necessarily feel like it. I drew the Q and I drew 2 other vowels. So I drew this. I was kind of like wondering if I should play Gig here, or just play the standard Quag, and Quag is the one that I went with, and it is the move that Macondo likes most. 39 points. I'm like, I just have to kind of keep scoring points here, just to kind of keep the scoreboard pressure on to a certain degree. And then Evans plays Hamza through the A of I, so he keeps his scoring going there. And then I have this rack. So I did draw. I finally was like, okay, finally I drew a blank. This is great. This is what a blank looks like. I love that. So I could almost like kiss it. I was like, oh, yes, I got it. I got it. So yeah, I ended up spending like 4 or 5 minutes trying to think of what the best bingos were. And kind of realized that I don't have. I kind of saw Ab Origin, and then I saw Ibogaine. And then I was kind of toying with other bingo lands, and I was like, I don't see much else. I was actually also, I also did notice I was 1 letter off Maybomian, but I don't quite have that. I was like, that would have been sweet if I could have landed that. But I don't have the A on the board. I have the G, unfortunately. Too many G's in the game at the same time. But yeah, I ended up playing Ibogaine. Which again, these 2 bingos, 2 unique bingos are the only ones there. So Ibogaine was the best bingo to play here, according to Macondo. And after that, I'm only 16 points behind. After all this so far, I'm actually not doing too bad. Evans then plays Nubia for 24 points. And then I draw into this rack, a very interesting rack here, because this board is really good for the X. Many different spots to play, so you could play XI here, or something like Vox or Vex maybe. You also have EXO here as well. I mean, if you end up missing, so if you want to use it 3 turns down the line, you go XI up here as well. So there's lots of different places. You got XIS down here. X is like worth 1 billion points on this board, and luckily I drew it, so I was happy about that. But again, I'm 40 points behind, and I'm like, how do I kind of like make this last? Right? I need to try and score 2 big scores here to try and catch up. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I could play XIS here and score some points. I could just put XI, maybe go for a bingo. But then I decided I really need to score like 2 50-point players here to try and catch up. So I played keys, KIS here instead, keeping EIOX. I can play something like XO above here or Vox here afterwards, and then I would have a 55-ish point play to go with the 49 points of cheese. So I decided to do that. I actually now take the lead, which is astonishing after 7 turns. Thank you to Cindy Boost for the follow. Appreciate that a lot. Again, if there's anyone else out there watching right now and don't already follow this channel, please hit that follow button right now. It'd be greatly appreciated. So I played keys. I was like, yeah, okay, we're kind of in good shape now. We're 9 points in front, and we have a 50-odd point play ready to go next turn. But then, of course, Evans bingos again. 4th bingo of the game. Trinodal through the A. 60 points. And, yep, puts pace to that. So with the EIOX that I have on my rack, I end up drawing JOR from the bag. Okay, so I'm like, okay, now I have the J. What am I going to do with the J? And I'm like, oh, the O is right here. And I unfortunately don't have an A for J. So what do I do now? And I'm like, okay, let's figure this out, because there's no really other space for the J on this board now, and I'm having to hope to draw one of the 3 A's unseen to play J. But then I was like, well, let's just think about the next move, and just think about what we can do with the next move first. So, like, normally I think I would just play Vox. Again, it's 56 points. Puts me kind of back almost level with Evans again. I say an only problem. One of the main problems is that you can play a good score above here and get a lot of points. Kind of makes it very juicy that way. I could play something like Oxo as well. Again, kind of keeping the J the next turn. And then I was like, wait a minute. This spot opens a space for the J here, but I don't have an O. And I'm like, there's no O's left, and there's still the 3 A's. I'm still hoping for one of the A's. So then I was like, wait a minute, let me just do it this way. What if I just play EXO? Now I have Joe to go above here for like another 30, 40 points. And there's still 5 E's left. So like, I'm likely to draw another E anyway. This gives me almost a guaranteed spot for the J, because I don't think he's ever really going to go here. So that's what I did. I played EXO. This was the best play according to Macondo, just because I have a lot of future score with the J. So I played EXO. That gets me 55 points, puts me now only 6. Oh, I'm actually ahead now. Sorry, I'm actually 4 points in front. And then you guessed it. Evans plays another bingo. He plays a 5th bingo here. He plays a phasic for 73 points. So the main thing is here that he ended up trying to play a different bingo before this. He started playing some letters down and was like, wait a minute, I don't have that bingo. And then he plays this, and I was like, oh, I initially thought that I was actually going to be spared a bingo after he almost played the wrong one. But the main problem with this move for Evans is that he actually should have played it like this. There was just enough space for him to play a phasic like this, and there was actually going to be, it would completely corner off the board, and all of these kind of 4 columns in this bottom right part of the board, it's going to be dead. Unless you start opening it up, and then you can just shut it back down again. So that was really, this is one of the main things here with this move. And just to kind of write home about the wait a minute, let me actually, oh, I should actually just type up the rack here. That would help. And again, of course, aphesiac is also a word. So let me just kind of show you what the difference is between, or well, I'm not even gonna analyze aphesiac, but between this, which actually scores 4 points more, and this. So let's see what the win percentages are. I actually haven't seen it, but you can see here. It's about, what, 7%? It's about a 7% difference. 7% swing from 83% to 90%. That's pretty big. That's actually quite a big difference. And as I said earlier in the stream, it's not just a 7% difference here, it also gives your opponent an extra 7%. So it's like a 14, almost 15% chance swing between two of the same things, almost just on the same place of the board, but heuristically with the tiles and where it's actually laid out, it's a different ball game. So he does play a phasic like this, and again he's still in very good shape here. He's up by 69 points, and then this is where things slowed down because I have this rack now, and there's only 8 tiles left in the bag. And you can see what's left. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. Sorry. Wait, that's not right. This is not what I had. I forgot that I had the J. This is the wrong move. I had this rack. So I did play the J. I played Joe, which is there. So that's sorry. We missed out a move there. Okay. So let's just go back. Sorry. I got too excited there. I was reading the wrong line. So yeah, after it's kind of curious here because I played Joe. I'm still 30 odd points behind, and then after like 3 or 4 minutes, Evans decides just to play the Y. This is not his actual rack, but he just plays a Y here. It looked like he was kind of looking to play off this tile and maybe one other. I can only assume it might be another E or something. Or something other that might be duplicated. I don't really know, but I feel like he plays the Y here for 13 points, and that was a weird move. For me, that was weird because I actually did have enough time to kind of realize I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. And we're looking at the tiles that are left now. So, okay, so this is the accurate... sorry. This is the accurate position here, where there's only 5 tiles in the bag. I have this rack. You can see the tiles left in the bag are actually pretty good. There are lots of E's. They're kind of spoiling it. Plus, and it's actually not even a bad thing, seeing all these different floating tiles on the right side of the board. And there's also a W. So now you're kind of wondering, what is he keeping? This is important now because now you have to kind of make some inference in terms of what you think Evans is keeping based on his Y play. Again, he kind of was looking as if like he wanted to play off another tile, but he didn't. So I was assuming that he doesn't need to get rid of more E's. So there's got to be a bunch of E's left in the bag, right? And I'm assuming that if he played the Y and he had the W, he would have played the W off also. So I'm assuming that the W is also in the bag. Again, 5 tiles in the bag. I'm assuming like something along the lines of W, E, 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 maybe, plus one other tile in the bag. Something like that. So I'm kind of putting him on like something like cares, like CARES, as a baseline like rack that he might have, which again would make sense because I don't think that he would play Yo if he has the W or has too many E's, or he doesn't feel that his rack will bingo often enough to basically just counter my bingo, right? He's already ahead by half a bingo. As long as he bingos again, it's all good. He's going to win. So it feels like really the worst tiles in the bag are probably going to be still in there, right? So with that in mind, now you're trying to work out with 5 tiles in the bag, what do you play? So if you're preparing yourself with multiple E's to potentially be on your rack, then you might actually think that this E that you have here is actually kind of expendable. You don't need to keep it because you're probably going to draw a bunch more anyway. The problem also is that you have 2 L's, so another L has to go at least. And then you have the P, which actually is not that bad. And also the other L, if you keep 1 L, is also not that bad. But like, you also have to be careful here because you only have 2 vowels. You can play through the A or the I of a phasic and be okay, maybe. But again, you're now likely to draw the W and a bunch of E's. So with 5 tiles in the bag, what do you really do? Because I was thinking of playing something like Lep. Again, there's no I's left, so I'm keeping the last I. It's not too bad. Also felt the need that I'm 45 points behind. It probably doesn't really matter all that much in terms of how much I score here, because as long as he doesn't bingo and I bingo, I might be okay. So Lep was an option here. There's other things like Pill, which again doesn't score that much. ERS as a leave is again very good. And this also leaves 1 in the bag, importantly as well. But the fact is there's still duplicate E's and R's still unseen. So I could draw into a bunch of E's, I could draw into another R to go with my ER, and then I just can't bingo. I might draw into a W as well, and be like, well, oh well, you know. But I can foresee that these things might happen. So then, now you're like, what do you really do? Yeah, again, you're going to have to leave these things open. Thoughts on Lep with the E of tattoo. So Lep, again, yes. Another option, that is another option, a valid option here. 11 points. You're about 35 behind. So the problem also, again, as most of you may already know, that if you don't leave 1 in the bag, then your opponent could just play off 1 tile and then you just don't go out. They'll just react to whatever you do. And the fact is that if he doesn't hit his bingo with the Y and I play Lep, then he has another chance to hit another bingo. He can fish again. Like, if he just drew the W, for example, and be like, well, okay, well, Lep comes down, okay. And then I play, and then he just plays, like, Way or something, I don't know. And then it's back to me again, and there's still 2 tiles in the bag. So then, what am I going to do now? And if I have a bingo ready to go, then I just play it, and then he just bingos back and then just ends the game. So then the endgame timing also becomes a factor here. So this is also partly why I was like, I would like to play off more tiles. Not just to get the points, but also, like, it is possible that if I score enough points, I could even potentially outrun him. If I draw the W, and he doesn't bingo, I could actually play a W down here and get another 30 points. So then I was thinking of maybe playing Lip. Lip down here. So this scores a little bit more. Keep ELRS, which isn't too bad. Again, I can draw into other E's and a W. So I was thinking about it and was like, wait a minute, if I play Lip, right, I keep ELRS, and if I draw into EEW, which is exactly the letters that I said might still be in the bag, I can draw into Weaseler. So I could draw into that after Lip. That is an option here. So I was like, is this worth a fit? I mean, is this worth the play here? Like, do I do that? Again with WEE, I'm presuming WEE is probably still in the bag. And I'm or maybe at least WEE, which is actually the 3 tiles that I would need to draw to get this. But the problem also is that Lip leaves 2 in the bag. Again, maybe I'm overthinking this too much, but again, if I play Lip, he doesn't hit his bingo. He draws a W. I don't know. That still leaves the eventuality that, again, he could still play something like you, leave 1 in the bag again, and then I'm like, okay, well, I could play Weaseler, and then go up by like 60 points, and then he just bingos out through the I or the C, and then I still lose. So then I'm now kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place now, right? I'm like, maybe what I really have to do here is kind of go all in on this and just play Lipe. Get rid of the E as well. I end up keeping LRS. I'm gonna draw into a bunch of E's. I could draw into bingos with anything here. Again, I can draw into EEEW and still play Weaseler. And lots of E's here for me, at least 2 E's here through the S or the C, actually isn't a bad thing. I can bingo a lot of the times. A lot of the time. So this is actually what I end up doing. I end up playing Lipe. And not only that, this actually scores 30 points. So this also puts a bit of scoreboard pressure on Evans. The fact that if he decides to, I don't know what he's going to do now, it takes away the option of fishing 1 more tile. And the fact that he also needs to score some points on the next turn as well, because I could potentially outrun him in an endgame if I draw the W and can score like 30 points again. So I decided to play Lipe here. And the thing is, he ends up almost running out of time. He was running out of time. Evans is generally a very quick player, but he ended up running his time down very low. And I was kind of wondering what was going on, because he plays Menaces here. So again, I was kind of right, the fact that he had Cares on his rack. I had him on those 5 tiles at least. And he had an N, and he had some other tile that wouldn't work. So he actually ends up he ends up telling me he actually ends up with this rack here. He actually ends up drawing to Craners, which is not a word. And if you kind of look at the tiles that are left. This is actually what's on my rack now. Potentially there's 8 tiles there. 1 of them is in the bag. So now he's kind of like looking at all the different options to block things. But he ends up playing Menaces. So we kind of like look at this real quick. He played Menaces. And then I actually have this rack on here. You can see here. He ends up drawing the E, and I have wrestles when I go out. And then he was bemoaning the fact that he didn't see wrestles. So I ended up winning this game. 524 to 492, despite Evans having 5 bingos. That's literally half of his turns were bingos. I still managed to withstand that with 3 bingos of my own. But we'll kind of quickly look back at this game. This is a pretty interesting game because if we look at it from his point of view, and we'll just save it right here at this spot. Wait, does it work? Wait, does it work if I save it? Lipe. Wait, let's commit Lipe, and then let's just go back real quick. So we'll just go back real quick to his point of view when he played Menaces. Again, 1 tile in the back. I've taken that option out now. You cannot just fish an R or a C or whatever he wants and tries to draw into a bingo with leaving any tiles in the bag. The problem here is that, again, you got to look at the dangers of what is left in the bag. And the most likely thing, right, is that an E is still in the bag because there's 3 of those left. This means that, of course, wrestles, which is what I end up doing, is the right answer. Also, the W could be in the bag. I could also play Reselect. That could also come down. If the W is also still in the bag, I can play Treeless. I could play Treeless. Not only that, I could also play Beetlers as well. Again, making this very difficult to block. And again, with the aforementioned Weaseler, also an option, because that was kind of there as well. If the T was in the bag, there might be some other things as well that I haven't talked about. But again, you can just kind of highlights the fact that even though the letters left are not particularly on the eye looking like it was particularly great, but they actually combine really well with the tiles that are on the board. Where you guys are asking how much time in the game did you spend on light? I probably spent maybe like, I don't know. I think I spent probably like maybe 8 minutes on that move. Probably. I did kind of burn my time like almost to the end. I probably left like 2 minutes left. Again, in the event that I actually have to work out an endgame that wasn't a bingo, then I felt like I needed to leave some time. I also felt like that with this, either Evans is just going to play a bingo and I'm just going to lose anyway. Doesn't really matter. Then I won't need that much time anyway. Or the fact he's going to have to think about the endgame and I'm going to have more time to think about it then. So yeah, you can see here again. This is very interesting because he couldn't block everything. But you guys were saying in the chat that C's CEAS is an option here, and it is an option. But the fact is, it does complicate things a little bit because again, this might have been the play in the end, but it's not necessarily the easiest thing to see. So let's just say this, right? Let's just say that he does play that. He does go up by 36. And let's just put down what my actual rack was. Actually, I'll be honest, I haven't actually gone through this yet, so I don't really know. But the fact is that he has now got ENRR on his rack. And I did notice that he would have had two big. We kind of looked at this potential opportunity at the end. You would have had Re-Earn, or Earner, or had Gurner here. Which actually would have given him pretty much an unblockable way of winning this game. I didn't see anything that would actually would outrun this. I couldn't block both of them. Now that I kind of just had a light bulb moment that if he just played Earner, I actually cannot really block anything. I would need to play something like from here downwards to kind of obstruct things realistically, and I don't really see many things that would do that. So like Sweater doesn't quite work, and even then he would just play Rack and Seize, and then that would be it. That would score away and more than enough if I hemorrhage too many points. So yeah, in the end of the day, Seize would have been the right play, just blocking or as many spots as possible. But again, as I said, it's not 100% because if the W was still in the bag, I would still have the E instead of the W, and Beaters would still fit. It's just that C's would have, as I said earlier, Reselect would also still fit here too. So that one rack would still lose for him if the W is still in the bag. But as we said, in the end of the day, again, it's a very difficult endgame to kind of work out, and nothing is 100% for Evans in this situation. He's just going to have to try and do the best he can. It's just unfortunate that he ended up, unfortunate for him anyway, that he ended up not really blocking anything and leaving all these spaces open. And maybe just banking on the fact that I might not hit anything. So yeah, it's kind of a weird endgame we both had a lot of time, and then we all burnt all the time at the end with these kind of final final two moves. So yeah, I was just very happy to get to survive this game with a win. And yeah, that was that. So yeah, moved up to 5 and 4. 5 blanks on the count right now. Let's see, what else? Should I go through this game? Maybe not. Maybe I'll leave this game off the list. We're kind of talking a bit too much now. I was going to go through game 10 against Mohammed Sulaiman. But in fact, I played 16 moves, which is a much longer game than normal. It was just a bit of a cagey game. It was pretty close and cagey, which is kind of not necessarily the kind of games that you would normally see. But yeah, it might take a little bit too long to kind of go through, and it's probably not. Out of the 6 that I have here, it's probably the least interesting one of them all. So yeah, I'm not going to go through it, but I did win this game by 25, taking me up to 6 and 4. I got 1 blank in that game, so that's that. And then a game 11, played Ikanch, who's in the chat right now. Yeah, I got a bit lucky early on. I could get away with a big lead before he could bingo, and then I just scored very heavily in the middle of the game. So yeah, and then I even got a bingo at the end as well, just kind of beef up the spread. So I won by 108 against Ikanch, and actually I didn't really make too many mistakes in this game. I think there's very few errors after analyzing on my side. And I actually didn't have any blanks because I can't actually bingo with both blanks in one game, in one move. So the blank count is still stationary there. And then we're going to move on. We're actually going to analyze this game, game 12, against Ben Shanbrun. This ended up a very close game, so we'll go through it right now, actually. Okay, so let's reset everything. Thank you, Ikanch, thank you. Yeah, I got lucky there. I got lucky with a lot of big tiles and high scores, so it would be hard to keep up, to be fair, for anybody with what I had. But yes, we go into game 12 with a 7 and 4 record, so doing not too bad. We'll move, and then Ben plays Fab as the first move. Okay, so I have... Sorry, I can't even read my handwriting. I have this, right? Did you have any blanks in the 16-turn game? I had 1 in that game. I had 1. So I don't know what that's at now. Is it at 5 or 6? What is it at? So 6 man, okay. And I said in game 11 I had no blanks against Ikanch, so we're on game 12 now. So 6 blanks out of 22 as it stands. This is my first rack. Play the best move of Bomb. Relatively straightforward move. Playing above Fab, keep things blocked. Lovely jubbly. And then he plays GI underneath, so again, he's not wanting to open too much up here. And then I have this rack, which actually is pretty good. I can hook Mag with Magi or Mage. I decided to play Fink. Again, not trying to open up too much, but it scores 33, so it's a decent score with the way that the board is. And then Ben plays Earth underneath Fink. 28 points. When he played Earth, I was like, he's gonna play bingo here. gonna play like Earthen or something, and then he stopped at Earth, which was fortunate. Was definitely a little bit worried about that. Okay, so my next rack is this. So yeah, weird move here because I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out like what do I do with the Z? Do I do anything with the Z? What options do I already have? Can I cash it in? Can I engineer some kind of way to play the Z? And it does turn out that the move that I played was the best play according to Macondo. I played Wii, which doesn't, on the face of it, look like a great play, but I'm keeping the A for Kawa and I'm keeping the Z for Res. So I'm actually allowing like some underlaps here with what I'm actually keeping with the Z and keeping things relatively tight at the same time. And this scores 28 points. It's actually not a bad score whatsoever. So this is definitely not to be sniffed at as well. So this is the best play. And then Ben plays L for 12. Kind of blocks things up a little bit there. So here I have this rack. Yeah. I was kind of worried about potential S plays here. And yeah, things like Azo is not too bad. Scores well. There's a lot of high scoring players here that kind of gets rid of a bunch of stuff, but I decided to play Zos for 41. I know that most likely your opponent is going to either play next to the Z or play underneath the F to open up the board. You're not really going to play down here, or you only play here if you have a bingo. But I have the D hook for Zos, so in fact if Ben doesn't play anything now, I can play something with a D. I might have a first shot at getting a full timer potentially. So that was kind of my thoughts with Zos. And actually Makoto doesn't particularly like this player that much. It's about 4-point error, but okay. It's not that bad. Ben actually bingos onto Zos. He plays Uneaten with the first N as a blank. 75 points. So he breaks out first. So I ended up keeping ADNO from Zos, and then I actually draw AEO from from the bag there. So this was not necessarily the best what I wanted to see here. More vowels. I actually did make a slight error here. It's actually a 9-point error. I didn't even realize this until I analyzed it. I played Anoa here. When I was looking at the board, I was like, yeah, Anoa looks really good here, keeping DEO. But actually, I should have just played a node. That would have just been a lot better. It scores a lot more, too. I don't know why I didn't see that, but yeah. It's a 9-point error as well. It's pretty significant. Just didn't see it. But I will say, I know it does have a better leave, so that's fine. All good. It's not too bad. It's the third best play according to Macondo. And then he plays Quag next to it. So he has the right letters to play parallel. So with my DEO leave, I draw very favorably. I draw IRST. So a natural 9-timer of Iodurits through the U would have fit if Quag did not kind of get in the way. That would have been a second natural 9-timer after Asteroid against Kevin Fraley, but not to be. So then I had to kind of think about what to do next. Had to try and rack my brains and be like, what are all the bingos in this rack? And are there actually any bingos that fit into the U? And there are not. So I ended up finding the highest scoring bingo here. A very cute cute play here of editors, and doesn't give away any floating tiles. It kind of stays in the interior part of the board. 10 more points over the next option, and that's what I played. It's the best move. And then Ben opens up the board here. He plays Twirly and Phi. So the score now, still about even. I'm up ahead by 8 points. And then I draw into the blank. So this is my 7th blank of the tournament. Make a note, MKW Joseph. There's 7 blanks so far now. And I was like, what do I play here? I didn't see all that many bingos. I was looking at the tier, was like, dog carts is good and cat dogs is good. I spent a few minutes trying to figure out if there was something better, but then I kind of, yeah, I just kind of settled on cat dogs. And yeah, it was actually my best play. So 72 points. Bingoed again. All good. Unfortunately for me, I mean, I said unfortunately, I was 80 points in front, but unfortunately for me, he plays Adu with the axe as well. 66 points. So I'm not even far in front anymore after that. And I draw this. It's not great. Not a great draw. Any stretch. Especially on this board, there's a few different like kind of dangers here, especially with well, technically 4 different triple word scores open for the taking. And I'm like, I don't think I can use any of those. Or I should really be using any of those. Like, I could play Pith here, P-I-T-H, but I'm keeping M-N-U-V, and I'm like, what am I going to do with that afterwards? So I don't think I can really do anything. And I could do, like, P-U-H down here, but I-M-N-V, again, looking very dire. So I decided to prioritize Rack Leave here. So I decided to play Novum. N-U-N-O-V-U-M, and that is what I did. You can see Novum is here, and because I keep HIP, pretty good leave in the grand scheme of things. It's not that bad. It scores very well, and you're getting rid of all the bad tiles that you have. And if you look at the simulation, it jumps near to the top of the list, so it's pretty good. Buffett was saying, wow, I leave the room for 1 minute and you gotta let him draw a blank. That's exactly right. Gotta sneak it in whenever I can. But yes, Pith and Purr, again, just scores way more, and that's what really keeps it ahead. But yeah, Novum is, again, pretty strong play. This is kind of what I'm saying. I mean, it does score way less than the next 2 above it, but again, does very well in the sim considering its low score. And then Ben plays Stanik here, not a bingo, which fortunately I was kind of worried that it was going to be a bingo, but plays plays 6 tiles at the bottom of the board, and we're about even again. And then we have to deal with this rack now. We have drawn into E-I-O-Y. Very awkward tiles here. And I was like, again, I could play Pith. Could play Pity, could play Yite or Yitty, could play, I don't know, could play a bunch of things here. There's a lot of different options. None of them are particularly hugely appealing. But again, just like the last game we analyzed with Evans, and there were a bunch of E's still in the bag, there are a bunch of E's still in the bag here too. It's not necessarily a requirement to keep an E here. For this board, I'm likely to draw one. There's still an E and an R still. They're still very likely to be drawn. So I could just get rid of an E here. I could just play Yeti or Yite. I'd end up going for Yite, which actually was the better play. Keeping H-I-O-P, which is pretty good. Again, you pair it with an E and an R, like you're almost very close to bingo. Or at least getting a high score next turn. So looking about the longevity of the next move. And that was the best play. Then after some deliberating, Ben now plays J-E-E above, underneath Adu. Which was a little bit curious here because, if I, well, I don't know, let's have a look. Let's do this. This is what my actual rack was when I'm actually sitting there. This is my rack here, not Ben's, but you can see what's in the bag here. 4 tiles in the bag, and that's what's, wait, let me just see. Is that right? Yeah, let me save this real quick. Wait, I have to go back, don't I? Wait a minute. 1 second. Yeah, wait, I have to remove the other stuff first. Okay, so I'm sitting. This is the accurate score right now with Ben to play, and this is what my rack is. I'm looking at this pool. You can see this pool now with this board. It looks like very, very likely that with what Ben might have, he's gonna bingo. Like there's the good tiles there. You kind of remove the J, and look at those tiles. A nice spread of vowels and constants. And I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna go well now. I know he just played Stanek and just has 6 random tiles now, but he would have drawn into a bunch of those good things. But again, this is, again, to my surprise that he decided that he played G, and he obviously doesn't have anything that great, and he probably thinks that I have all the good tiles. Because he wouldn't be blocking this top part of the board if he didn't think that it was a danger to him. So he ends up playing G. So now we'll plug in my rack here. And you can see the letters left. There's one of everything left here. I'm 6 points in front, but there's not really that much that I can do. There's 4 tiles in the bag, and I'm like, oh, I need to really score well on this turn and have a good rack for the next turn. The danger of having a bingo or giving up a bingo here is actually very low because there's not really any place to play it. But at the same time, I do need to score well and keep my lead and just keep the scoreboard pressure on for the end game. And that only left one option. I played Ichor, however you pronounce it, leaving OPR on my rack here, scoring 33 is my highest scoring play. It gets rid of the duplicate O's and R's, scores really well here. I mean the Ichor, okay, I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, these floating tiles are not particularly great in the position that they're in. And if you look at the simulation too, again, it's kind of weird because it does empty the bag, playing 4 tiles. But if you look at the simulation here, it is way ahead of everything else. I didn't really take too much time to think about it, this one, because I was like, this has to be the right play. There's nothing really else you can do. It's either that, or it's either I choose this, or I'm gonna handcuff myself to a bad rack with the rest of the game. And that wouldn't be good because the scores are close and there's some good tiles left. So yeah, you can see I have an 82% chance of winning this game after this. So I play it, up by 39. And then this is actually his actual rack now because we know what letters are left. He only has 1 vowel and he has the S. I have out rope on my rack. Again, no place to play it anyway, so not a danger. But he is 39 points behind. And there aren't that many different things he can do here. There's really only one space, and it's with this triple lane. Some combination of blips, drips, dribs, or something like that. And then it just depends on what your best two move combination would be. So we can ask the championship player here and see what it says. So you can see here, there are two moves that have a win percentage of 50%. That is drips or dribs in the top corner. There are only two moves here, and the 50% win means that it will tie the game. Again, assuming that both players play this game perfectly. And what he did actually was to play dribs. He played dribs, keeping LP. So if we save the game here now, you can see that the score is tied. LP is in the bag. This is what my rack is. I have about 3 minutes left or so, I think. 3 minutes? Yeah, 3 or 4 minutes left on my clock. And I was a bit confused. I didn't really think about it too hard in terms of what he could do. And I was like, why don't you just play blips? And then I was like, looking at what's left, and I was like, where does the L and the P go? And I was like, oh, it goes right here. It's 19 points. And scores very well. So, like, how do I outrun this? Firstly, how can I outrun this? And secondly, if I can't outrun it, then how do I block this? I have a P also. Like, surely I can do something here. So after a little while of, like, wondering what I should be doing, I couldn't come up with any real great option. So if we press the Ask Championship Player button again, there are only two players that tie the game now, for me. The pendulum has swung to me, and now I have to find one of the two players that ties the game. And there's a move of Proto that just allows Lip to come down for 19 plus 4, which is the 20, exactly the same as the 23 points that is played for Proto. Or you play Pit, which gives you 19, but Ben has the other outplay of Lip over here for 9, plus the 10 on my rack, so that's also 19. But again, giving them a tie. So I ended up playing Pit here, which is actually very important here because I didn't actually. I'll be very honest with you. I didn't really think about my play of Pit too hard because you can see on the candidate list of moves, if I decided to play Tip here, that actually doesn't win because he could play Lep going down or Pell. And that gives away even more points than the 9 points that Lip would be otherwise, which is why it's 6 points worse. So it was actually kind of lucky that I, in the lack of time that I had, I just played Pit and without thinking about it too hard because now with Pit here, Lep or Pell do not play. So I played Pit. And then he obviously finds his best play of Lip. And that's it. It's game over. It's a 4-0-4 tie. It's probably the first tie I've had in maybe years, I think. And yeah, it was good because we both played the endgames perfectly, and that's what happened. So it was very close. About as close as you can get. It's a tie. So that was game number 12. Error 404, yes. Don't know. Yeah, we couldn't fill out the sheet. We're like, who won? Doesn't really matter. Who cares? It's a tie. It's a half a point. I'll take that. Which means that in day 2 for the morning, this ended the morning games. I ended up going 3.5 to a half for the morning. Puts me at 7.5 to 4.5. As a record. So yes, let's move on. So that was game number 12. Game number 13 was against Josh Castellano. I ended up losing this game by 70. He ended up bingoing 3 times in the first 4 moves, so it was kind of an uphill struggle from there on. I did get one blank. So that makes it 8 after game 13. MKW Jones asking, did you do a recount to try and untie it? Admittedly, I did do a very very quick recount after the game had ended without actually telling Ben, and I didn't see any errors whatsoever. I mean, obviously there were no errors because I'm putting this into Quackle, and you can see that it does check out. So I did a quick one just to have a look, and I didn't see anything, so I didn't even mention it. So yeah, I ended up losing to Josh by 70 in game 13. Game 14, I played against Erickson Smith. Yeah, a bit of a weird start, but broke out with a bingo. And then I got another bingo, yawling, for 81 plus 5. Yes, that guy, yes. And then he plays Softens for 83 at the end, but I still win by 72. Had enough firepower to win that one. I had another blank in that one. I had one more, so that's 9 blanks. After 14 games. Puts me up at 8.5 to 5.5. We move on to game 15 against Etakaro. In similar fashion, he bingos 3 times in the first 6 moves this time, so I'm actually down by 120 for a long time, and I ended up losing by 120. So yeah, I got 1 blank in that game right at the end of the game, which actually was not even for a bingo, so saying that shouldn't count, but it does count. I did have it. So that's a 9th blank after 15 games. Lost by 150. That's 120. And then to end the game, to end the day of day 2, I played against Erickson Smith again. And I got lucky early on because I played Premier through an eye. Luckily, an eye was open because he just bingoed and let an eye stick on space. And then I played Zexes, Z-E-X-E-S for 81 points as a parallel play. And then I just kept scoring really well from there on. So I ended up winning this game by 75 points. Despite Erickson bingoing with both blanks in 2 different bingoing twice. Well, in different words, but 2 different moves with 2 blanks for Erickson in that one. So no blanks in game 16. So ended the day 9.5 to 6.5. Again, I only have 9 blanks out of 16, so that's 16 games. That's 9 blanks out of 32, I think. So it's kind of low. But again, I'm like 9.5 and 6.5 is not bad against this field with what I've got. So okay. And then game 17, I'm playing against Matthew O'Connor. So I'm actually kind of lurking around the top 5 at this stage. So yeah, I was kind of playing a little bit of catch up here. After a bingo with Detaches, he plays Obelias and then Veins for 44. So I'm down by about a bingo-ish, and then I can manage to score enough points to kind of catch up with the Q and the J. And then I drew the Z and the blank at the end. So I did have 1 more blank in this game. But I couldn't quite eke out enough points. And despite not bingoing after my bingo early on, I only lose by 14. So that was that. And then I move on to game 18. Again, we will go through 1 more game on the stream, which will be the one after this. But game 18 is against Thomas Renke. This was notable also. Again, I don't know if a lot of you had heard about this, but during this game, something had happened during this game that has never happened to me before in a Scrabble tournament. So it was the 3rd move of the game, and I was kind of contemplating my which bingo to play with a blank. There you go, number 11. I drew a blank. I did draw a blank. I was like, whoa, what am I supposed to do with this? But then Thomas kind of goes like, looks around and he does this. He goes like, oh, what was that? And I was like, are you okay? And he goes, yeah, a mouse just ran past. And I was like, what? I was like, funny, you're a funny guy. And I was like, are you serious? And I said, and he goes, yeah, a mouse just literally just ran past. And I was like, what? And then as I was kind of looked down to kind of think about what my rack is, or what my bingo should be, and then I look around behind Thomas, and other people are like looking around, like there's like 10 people kind of like looking around on the floor, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess he was right. And then I had to call the tournament director over to try and dispel the mouse. Of course, the tournament director is my wife, Lindsay, and I'm like, I don't think that she's gonna really do anything about this, because I already know that she does not like mice. Did anyone squeal and jump on their seat? No, I didn't hear anyone squeal, but I was playing. I will say I was playing next to Josh Castellano, and I will kind of sit back here just to illustrate. I mean, I was not really that worried because before I even realized that the mouse went somewhere else, but he was like this. He was like this, like playing Scrabble with his feet up in the air. And I was like, okay. And then we're like looking at the room. I'm like, who actually here is scared of mice and who is not? I honestly, like, it must have happened so fast for me. It ran past me, and I didn't even know. I didn't even bother reacting. But I guess it also shows, like, maybe also where you live. Maybe you might be more accustomed to mice just kind of running around. But yeah, I think one of the hotel staff managed to actually just shoo the mouse out, and it wasn't a problem for too long. It made it to the streamer's room, apparently. Yes. Well, the streamer's room was actually right behind me. There's no streamer's room. It was literally just the table behind me from where I was sitting. So we're all in the same room. They're just on one part in the corner of the room. So yeah, it was kind of weird. But, you know, it's all good. I managed to get I managed to regain my focus and play my bingo, which had the blank in it. And yeah, I got lucky because I managed to get 2 more bingos later on in the game and score enough points with my Z at the end to win by about 50. So just the 1 blank in that game. So bear in mind, I've played 18 games, and you would have seen MPW Joseph with your count. I have actually yet to have a game with both blanks in it yet. It's been 18 games. I have not double blanked anybody so far in this tournament. Yet I'm still 10.5 and 7.5, and I'm still in contention to get some prize money. Yes. So actually, there was a funny, I'd say a funny story. I don't know when this. I can't actually remember when this happened. I guess my wife isn't listening to this, but this might be happening. This might have happened during COVID. But there was actually a mouse in our house from where I literally am right now. It was actually just out through this door in the dining room. And again, it was one of those things where Lindsay was like, "Oh, she ran away," and then obviously the kids are home because it's COVID. And then she goes, "Oh, there's a mouse underneath this." It's actually where my trophies are on display here. It's like it's underneath there, like underneath all these papers and stuff. And like you can't see it. And then we're like, "What do we do? We can't put a mouse trap out because it's gonna run away, and it's just there. Like, where did it come from?" So a mouse was right there underneath, like behind where Lindsay kind of works. Like she actually has her table. She actually sits at the dining room table with her computer, and where she actually does her work. It's actually like behind her. So I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I was like, you know what? Give me a glove. Give me like a thick glove, and I'm gonna go after it. I'm gonna grab it. or smashing with it. I didn't want to cause too much, too much mess on the carpet. So, I just put 2 gloves on, and then I was there ready for it, and then suddenly I saw the mouse just run around the dining room table, and MKW Joseph, just like a great goalkeeper, soccer goalkeeper, football goalkeeper, I reached down, I grabbed it in one hand, I had it in my hand, I grabbed it first time, I just scooped it up with my hand, with it in with my gloves. It's like a regular like thick glove, like if you're cold or whatever. Got it from there, got it in my hand, and I was like, oh, okay, now what do I do with it? I wasn't expecting to like get it first time. I just kind of grabbed, should have leant down, like I saved like a ball, like a soccer ball coming past you. I was just trying to reach it, grabbed it, and then I was like, okay, well, let's just open the front door, which is right there. And I'm just gonna lob it like down the street. And that's what I did. I lobbed it as far as I possibly could in the middle of the street. And I lobbed it so far and so hard that it landed like in the middle of the street, and it was like on its back for like 5 seconds, like dazed, and then it just ran off, and that was it. So that's what happened. Yes, I literally like just lobbed the mouse out the front door into the middle of the street, and it was like, and then it just like, okay, and then it just ran off. So that was it. That's my story about the mouse in the house. Again, I don't think I've ever told that story before. Maybe I haven't, but I don't know. You're here for the scrowl, but stick around for the stories. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, all the things you get up to during COVID, eh? It's funny. Maybe it was the same mouse. It quite possibly could be, or a distant relative potentially. It's possible, very possible. Although there's probably millions of them around here, so you never know. Yes, exactly. Where were you guys saying that? Yes, that's some analysis exactly. I need to analyze my mouse catching skills. On point, 1 for 1, and I intend to stay that way forever. Okay, so this is the last game we're going to analyze tonight, and it's going to be a rematch against Dave Wiegand, round number 19. Again, I basically need to win 2 games here, the last 2 games, to finish in the money, and potentially, again, as I said, I potentially could finish second after this as well. After all of this has happened, it's not a bad thing. So, yeah, let's analyze this game. This one's not gonna take too long to analyze, I think, but we'll go through it again. Again, I like showing you these games against Dave. He doesn't play all that much nowadays, I guess. He's not as active, so I do like to showcase these games. But yes, Dave Wiegand, he plays Jambu. First move, I'm like, okay, 48 points already. Here we go. Alright, let's do it. And then I have this rack. It's not great, not the worst, but I play Way here. W-E-Y underneath Jambu. Curiously, I think it likes Y more. If I remember right, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it likes Y. I guess it's a lot more defensive because there's a lot of letters that go underneath ME. And you can see here, it's actually surprising. Literally the same move, but scores 6 points less. Is 3% better. Yeah, and that's really the only thing you can put it down to. It's just got more defensive merit with this because only the C can go underneath that. And I actually have the C. I hold the C, the key, for the move that goes next. Although I don't really have anything that goes next to the BE, but still, I have the C. So I guess that is kind of the thinking behind this. And really, after Y, what does your opponent really do here? Like, they play underneath BE, maybe they play like a 4-letter word here, or they may play through AW or something. Like, it's not going to score much. Like, but I guess Way does give away a lot more, so gives away a lot more. Like, you can actually play almost underneath here completely. He plays his own C, exactly. Exactly. In any case, I'm not a robot, and I decided to play the highest scoring option of Wei. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter that much, because he ends up playing underneath here anyway. He plays Zona for 39 points. And I'm lucky here because I, wait, what did I keep here? I kept CDIS. I end up drawing NTU, so I have a bingo here of Inducts is my only playable bingo. It comes down immediately, nothing much to think about. And then Dave, he has the Y, he plays K underneath and away, receiving the highest scoring move of 48 points. So it puts him back in front again without really having to do too much. He has the case Y. But I was very fortunate here in this move because I draw into Otarine and Notaire. Basically just a take your pick of bingos here now. So I decided to play, actually it is the best bingo available here of Anointed for 70. Not giving away too many, well, only giving away one floating tile with an A here. Joint highest scoring bingo. There we go. And then this kind of cash cow in the bottom left corner continues as he plays Dreg for 31 points. So despite 2 bingos, I'm still only 16 points in front. And I'm stuck with a lot of vows. I have this on my rack now. I just play in the bottom left corner, keep it simple. I play DeFi. I thought about DF as well. I was like, there's not much difference here. I think DF is slightly better by like a point. It's not that much. Play DeFi anyway. And then Dave plays Razor. So he slows down a little bit and plays Razor. Obviously he must have some bingo-y tiles, just doesn't quite hit anything. Which is actually kind of fortunate for me also. Because I have this rack here. I end up drawing into a bunch of constants here. So I end up drawing CFV. And I have a ready-made move of 5 and So keeping Car, again, very strong, good score. Locks the triple. All good with that. Puts me up by 50. And then, once again, Dave plays some 1-point tiles. He plays Rat, Fiver, and Toke. 24 points. Keeps that scoreboard moving. I have this rack now, so I was hoping to draw something a little bit better than what I did. I ended up drawing APSV. Again, can't complain about some of those tiles, but the V and the P do kind of spoil it a little bit. I do play my highest scoring, well, my best play actually, according to the engine of Rav and Toka. 35 points, keeping caps, looks pretty good. Probably can bingo through the I, or maybe bingo starting with an S underneath here relatively often, so pretty good here. Doesn't give anything away as well. That's nice. And then Dave plays Touching. He finally plays a bingo, and surprisingly, he doesn't have a blank or an S. So we're here now. He finally gets his bingo down, and he's back ahead again. And unfortunately, I drew the Q, so I have this rack. I was hoping the H would be played a bit more out of space so I can play Cough. But in this instance, I really only have one kind of feasible move here, and that's just QI. And that is the best play, according to Macondo. Just drop the Q there. You can draw into bingos as well after that. Dave then plays Lloyding. Again, interesting move because there doesn't seem to be any S or blank on his rack, and they're all still kind of there. Loitering in the bag still. And with my leaf, actually Actually, it looks like Packle picked out the right tile for me. I picked out the L. So I actually don't need to change anything here. So yes, I picked up the L, and I only have one bingo here of Escalop. So the question really was now, do you play Escalop here, where in the more standard space, or do you play it with touchings? And then the second thing is, are you sure of touchings? I was about 99% sure of touchings, I'll be honest with you. The only problem is, I'll say the only problem, there are lots of problems with this move. This is a little bit open. You can put the S hook on this, and you can put the E hook on this. And also there's obviously lots of parallel plays next to the A that will give away, potentially give away like 50 points. So it was it's 11 points more as well. You can see here, I'm going to just remove all of these things. Again, if you're sure enough of both of those things, you see that the difference between the two is there for you to see. It's actually, despite it being 11 points more, just because because of the position of the move, you can see equity-wise at least is about the same. The win percentage is still, you know, it's significant-ish. It's about a 3.5% difference. Well, according to Macondo, on here you can see right now it's about 4%. Well, actually it's kind of about 3% now, 3.5% as well. So yeah, but 3.5% difference here. I was sure I mean, if I had to play touchings, I would play it. I mean, it was a very minor kind of doubt in my mind of playing it, but to the point of like, if I don't need to do it, then I just won't. And I just thought that with Escalop, this actually doesn't give away really any floaters, and actually does block things up a bit more. So I actually kind of liked what Escalop does to the board as well. So I was happy with that from that point of view alone. So I didn't feel like the minor ounce of doubt was really worth it as well, overall. So I played it like this. And again, Dave being Dave, he has a bingo, and it fits. He plays Aureate here, Escalop. And then this now becomes a question now. What goes at the end of Aureate? With a D, a blank, and an S still unseen. What goes there? And are you sure enough of anything, of what your answers are? That's the question now. Fortunately, I did not really have to do anything with that at this moment in time, because I have the blank. I have a blank. Here we go. Where's the count? Put the count up. Okay. 12 blanks. Okay, so I now can play. I was like playing booties, but then I was like, no minute, I have a better bingo here. I can double the B and I can play EO Biont. 90 points. Yes, let's go. So EO Biont was the move. And then he plays Whip here. And for the first time in this tournament, I actually draw both blanks. Here it is. I have the other blank. It's taken 19 games, and I finally double blank somebody. And I find my optimal endgame here of melee, however you pronounce it, melee, 47 points. And then he plays sixes for 53, and then I have my highest outplay of in for 5 points. So after all that, the final score, 518 to me and 464 for Dave. So 13 blanks in 19 games. I'm now 11.5 and 7.5 going to the final game. So that was game 19. Game 20 against Etakaro. I will I won't really go through it too much, but I will tell you this. Well, I don't even need to even do anything here, but I will just clear the board real quick. This is my I mean, I'm not going to put anything on the board, but you can just look at the rack that I had. So my first rack, first of all, was this. This was my first rack to start the game. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I have Uwu. Good thing Uwu is a word now. Good thing. That's cool. Play Uwu, and then I'll just do whatever here, right? I'll do Uwu. So I play Uwu, and then he bingos with lapping underneath. And I was like, okay. So I have IOOS. And then what do I draw? Look at this. This is not even a joke. I'm not even kidding here. This is my 3-tile pull. I draw QVV from the bag. Come on now, come on. This is not even right. It's not even fair. What's going on? There's literally one combination that I can do to draw that, and I just did it. Like, this can't be like blank blank S or something, or blank blank E. There's more ways I can do that. I can't do it with this. Oh my gosh. Ugh. So so again, I did manage to play QIS and slapping for 49 points. Later, and then what did I what was this? What did I? So again, I play QIS, so I keep OSVV. And then my next draw was Great. This is great. This is going so good. In a game where if I win this game, I'll go into second place. If I lose, I'm out of the money. Second place pays off $1,250. Great time for this to happen, guys. Great time. I love this. I love this. I love a challenge like this. This is great. Oh man, this is awesome. Love this game. So yeah, I played Vor, and then he bingos with the first blank. Just play first. I know. There was no E. I could have played favors or something, but yeah. So yeah, he plays Shoaling as a bingo, and then bingos again for 95. And then I play Rosier, I get a bingo. He bingos with the other blank of Notarize with a blank and the Z. And then has the X, plays Guanji. He plays Guanji up here for like 49 points. And yeah, I just tried to save on my spread as much as I could. And I kept the spread down to 165. So that was what happened in that final game. No blanks in that one. So the blank count stopped at 13. That was it. I had 13 blanks out of 40. Is that right? 13? I need to double check that actually. I thought I had more than that. maybe I'm more unlucky than I realized. I don't know. Let me have a look. I need to double check this. Oh, interesting. This actually might not be right. Wait a minute. Wait, 1 second, guys. 1 second. Did you play any funnies? I don't know actually. Did I? I think I did. I have a list of things here that I have a lot of statistics about my games here. I actually did play one phony, and actually it was against Erickson Smith, which actually went unchallenged. I played Prefit. And as soon as I put it down on the board, I was about to play Bfit, and then I was like, I played Prefit and was like, oh wait, that's not a word, is it? Because Prefits is actually Pre-Sift. And then I was like, okay, let's just start it out, guys. Just it's probably one of those sixes that don't make anything. Don't worry, Just put it at the button. Just hit the clock. It's fine. So I already played it, and then he didn't challenge it. So that's fortunate there. Wait, I need to double check the blank count here. I thought I actually I don't know if I miscounted here. Did I miscount? No blank. 1 1 1 1 0 and is 1 1 1 1 0 1 2 0. Okay. Oh, wait, that's weird. So okay, so you know, MPW Joseph, I might have missed a blank somewhere, in your total. So I actually do have 14 blanks. I'll be completely honest. I think I had 14. I don't know where the error was in the count, but it might have been earlier when earlier in the maybe when I was not going through a list of games where there was no analysis. But anyway, 14 blanks is what I had out of 40, which is barely over a third. Again, you're playing against many of the best players in the world, and if you give them a blank, they are probably going to bingo. So the fact is that if you take a blank away from them, that is a bingo off them and onto your side, probably. So you're already up against the ropes here. If you're already going to have a deficit of blanks against a field this strong. So yeah, that is essentially that. I did have 14 Z's though. Does that count as anything good? I don't know. 14 Z's. I had 8 X's. I had 11 Q's, which is probably not a good thing. And I only had 7 J's. So there you go. I'm kind of a bit down on everything. On the S's, I had 39. So 40 would have been exactly half. So I'm actually down on both of those. I don't know. Let's not read too much into that though. That's the thing. The Z is the third blank. The third Collins blank is fine. Yeah, I guess so. That's quite a lot. Picked out too many Z's and didn't draw enough blanks. That's unfortunate. Exotopo played FQ against Ericsson and it stayed on the board. Yeah, I saw that. It's on the stream as well. I saw that. So yeah, that was kind of my analysis of Crescent City Cup. Ended up with 11.5 wins, 8.5 losses. Spread of only 138. Bit low, but finished in 6th place. Again, a very strong division. So in the grand scheme of things, played relatively well. Played pretty well, I think, which is nice. I think I only missed 2 bingos in the whole tournament. One of them was actually on stream against Josh. I missed Disc Crown. And then I actually missed another bingo against Jeff Theveno. I missed, it's a relatively straightforward bingo too. I missed Shivaree. Shivaree. And I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, because I looked at the H, the flowing H, and I was like, there's something here. And then I was like, no, I don't know, I started getting confused of other 9s that had all those tiles, like Haversine. I was like, no, I'm probably thinking of that. And then I was like, no, I don't think there's a bingo here. Then I moved on. Luckily I won that game, but yeah. That's not too bad. Okay, I missed 2 bingos in 20 games. That's not too bad. So yeah, I think that's about it for my stream tonight. Again, I appreciate you all for watching and getting involved with the chat. not lost the game not knowing chivalry was a verb once. Opponent put a D in the end. Yeah, sometimes those 9s get come up. Sometimes that is true. So yeah, again, well done to all the winners at the Crescent City Cup of all divisions, and all the prize money winners too. Again, I hope that everyone who was there had a great time. We'll have another 15th Crescent City Cup next year in mid-January again, I'm sure. We will do that. We're kind of working towards getting the early stages or getting the dates and things ready for that too already. And again, I hope you all enjoyed watching the live stream. Whoever was actually there, who couldn't be there, I hope you enjoyed the coverage and the commentary and you know, just the general shebang of the event. I know that obviously you couldn't be there, but yeah, I hope you felt like you were there at least. So yeah, that kind of rounds up the Crescent City Cup for 2026. And again, we'll hope to have all of you, as many of you there as possible for next year, 2027. And we'll have it live streamed as always too. So that's always something that we want to endeavor to do every single time, especially for you guys out there too. So all good. So that kind of, again, I said, that kind of rounds off my stream for tonight. I will say I'm still yet to do an analysis stream for Albany New Year's, so I will do that as well next week. I just did this one because it's more recent, it's more current. I have gone through all my games of Albany New Year's event. I will show you those games too next week. And I will probably just do some kind of Infinity Words Anagram Racing stream as well next week. But after next week, I'm actually gone for 3 weeks. I will not be streaming for 3 weeks. I will tell you that my family from England are actually coming to visit me for 3 weeks. So that's why I'm not going to be streaming. But I'll be back after that. And then we'll have, and then at that point, we'll have like less than 3 months or so to get ready for Causeway, which I intend on, well, I've signed up for. Shove them in the room while you stream. I know. So yeah, fly halfway across the world, and I'm just gonna put you on the side for a little bit. Let them join with Infinity Words. Yeah. If they can answer 100 questions or get I don't know, 500 points in Infinity Words, then I will stop the stream. There you go. That's your incentive. That's your incentive for me to get off the stream. Alright, so that is it. So I can now do something with this. All that's done. I might actually have to analyze my daughter's games, who, you know, she won a lot of money also. Her rating went up a lot too. I think her rating went up like 60 points, so she's doing well. So I'll have to go through some of that too. Oh yes, we've got to pay out the prediction. That's true. Yes, there was and how many blanks do you think I was going to get out of 20 games? And the answer was 14. So 13 to 15 is the result of the stream prediction tonight. So well done if you vote for option 2. So yeah, I think that's it. I guess I hope to see you all again next week, again on Tuesday night around 8:15 ish Central Time, and we'll either do a Infinity World stream or an analysis stream. I don't really know yet, but we'll do one of those two for next week. We'll do either way doesn't really matter. All right, so until then, Tuesday is when I'll be back. I hope to see you all there for that as well. And yeah, hope you have a good weekend, everyone. Good weekend, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. But until then, we'll see you around soon. And if you are wanting to play some Infinity Words, you can do that on the StudyCade channel. And we're going to send you over there right now. So if you want to play some Infinity Words, I'm going to send you there. So until then, see you guys around. Tuesday's next to the one. So until then, have a good one. Thanks for joining. And Oh, maybe, I don't know. Oh, we're gonna send you there over anyway. I'll see you. I'll send you there anyway. All right. Toodaloo. Good night, everyone. See you around soon.